Everyone, welcome to this new problem where we are going to dive into number of smooth descent period of stock. So basically you have an array of prices and you're supposed to find the number of descent period of stock. And one interesting thing you should keep in mind is that a single element is actually a valid solution. A sub array of continuous element where we have a strictly decrease is a valid solution. That means 3 is a valid solution. 2 is a valid solution. 2 is also a valid solution because we have a smooth decreasing. What is a smooth decreasing actually? A smooth decreasing is actually a subarray where, or an array where each of the element is actually equal to the previous element plus 1. You see, 2 is actually equal to 3 plus 1. 1 is actually equal to 2 plus 1 is equal to 2 is equal to 1 plus 1. So if you have such a decreasing array, then it's a valid solution, and single element is also a valid solution. Now we want you to return the total number of smooth descent period that we have in our array. Now my idea of solving this will be just like easy approach. What I would do is that I'm gonna find subarray of at least 2 elements that are actually valid, and I know that there is exactly n element of valid array initially, which is the size of the array. If I have 10 elements in my array, each of the single elements is already a valid solution. So I will not care about that. I'm just going to count the number of valid solutions that contain at least 2 elements, and I'm going to share with you a formula to compute them. And at the end, I'm going to add to that result the length of the array, which are actually solution of single element. Now, how do you find the number of this? How do you find continuous element that respect this? You just count, like you just loop. If you have, you start from position 1. If you have an element that actually is equal, or an element in such a way that the element plus 1 is equal to the one previous, you continue until you have an element that actually break the condition. Once you have an element that break the condition, you can know at that position the size of the previous valid subarray. If you have the size of the previous valid subarray, the inside here is to figure out that, okay, that subarray, let's say let's say I have something like this. I have a subarray like this with maybe 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We can see that this array consists of actually 5 elements, right? Since it consists of 5 elements, we can have one array of size. We can have one array of size 4, of size 5. We can have 2 array of size 4. Why? Because we have this array and we have this array. We can have 3 array. We can have 3 array of size 3. You got it? We can have one array of size 5. Yes, we can have 4 array of size 2, and then we can have 5 array of size 1. You remember, I don't care about this one because I initially said that I'm always going to count single element separately, so I will not care about this. I will just keep in mind that we can have one array of size 5, 2 of size 4, 3 of size 3, and 4 of size 2. And this actually is something you can compute easily. You don't need to sum those elements. So for each array that you have, or for each number of count that you have, you just count the number of elements that you can have. You know that it will give you 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 until n minus 1. So you know that it will just be, if I have a size of maybe 10 elements, I'm going to have 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 until plus 9, because I don't count array of size 1. And this is actually something that can be computed easily with a formula. You can check it out, how to compute the sum of consecutive elements. So that being said, what you need to do is just to find the size of valid subarray that actually is smooth, and once you have it, you just compute this by, you just use the formula to compute the number of subarray that you can have with that subarray. Yes, put it that way. And don't forget that the last subarray that you found will not be part of such loops. You need to also compute it at the end, or you can also manage to have it inside, but make sure you compute all of them. And at the end, don't forget to add the size of one size array. Yeah, this is the approach that I've used for this. I hope you do enjoy it. Feel free to give me any input. I'll be more than happy to see how you approach the solution. What is your solution looking like? Feel free to give me a like. See you tomorrow for a new video.